Hello and welcome to episode 87 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I'm Margaret.
I'm Jen.
And hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, how we doing?
How we doing, y'all?
How is everyone? What we thinking? What we feeling?
What we eating?
What we eating? Most
Getting to
importantly.
that 25 seconds in.
Hell
Need to
yeah.
find out what you're eating 25
Hell
seconds
yeah.
in.
After
If you don't
my,
tell me right now,
then
how could I go on?
Then the entity. Listen, you've escaped narrowly from the entity a couple of times here.
Well, 87 times, to be honest. 86 times.
Yeah.
Not this
so,
time.
Not this time.
This is the time.
Don't make us push that button, please.
Push
the
the
button.
button.
Has anyone
and
played
let
that?
me know.
Does anyone play that Jack Boys game? It's so much fun. It's like the OG Among Us.
Yeah, it's like Among Us, but it's just like, instead of like tasks and like assassinating people, you just ask questions and people get the wrong answers and you gotta try and...
so funny.
But you can also hack people so they get the wrong questions. It's very good.
It's good fun. It's in one of the Jackbox games. It's good fun.
I'd like to say that I'm very good at it.
You are very good at it. You're very good at keeping your mouth shut.
No.
I am not. I'm not very good at keeping my mouth shut at all. I
think you're pretty good. You did well last time we played.
Thank you. Yeah, we played with the mods and it was good fun.
Yes.
Man, I was gonna say something. I can't remember what.
What were you gonna say? Give me the goods. Nice.
And that's on that.
And that's on that. So
That's
don't
on
ask
that.
again. Don't you dare ask again.
Have we been?
How have we been?
You're telling me what you're eating right
now.
now.
You're typing that in the comments.
Yeah.
I can't. We're filming this on the same day, so I said that I wasn't going to hound you for comments anymore. So I don't know how your performance was in the last video, but you better believe in next video if the performance wasn't good enough. Coming.
Oh my goodness. Not only
Me
is the entity,
and the entity are coming for you. We're going to tag team.
Oh jeez. Oh no. That's not good. No one wants that. Let me tell you that.
What do you mean?
No one wants to be tag teamed by you and the entity.
Yeah, I'm a pretty
death sentence.
I'm a pretty dangerous guy, you see.
One thing we forgot to mention in the last episode.
We didn't forget. We were just going to mention it in this one because we're professional podcasters.
Professional podcasters is we have some new Podblasters. We have some new people who host the watch party for us.
Yes.
Is that what you thought I was going to say?
No.
Yeah, I thought not, Jack. I saw the look in your eye. Yeah, we have
I don't know what I'm doing.
Professional podcasters.
Yeah.
We mentioned a few videos ago now that we unfortunately just don't have the time to host the watch parties ourselves. We said anyone can host them, our mods can host them, and a few very kind people volunteered. And we currently have a team of people who will hopefully always be hosting the watch parties. Yeah. We have Adam, Vince, Nat, and Shad Dolls.
Yeah.
So they have their own special colour. They
the
described it as the chewy pink colour.
Yeah, the chewy pink.
The chewy pink colour.
But it's nice to see that even though we aren't going to be in there, you still all want to hang out together and talk about it. You know, we'll poke our heads in now and then if we've got a bit of time and stuff. But it's very nice to see that you're all still hanging out together, even though we aren't there.
It's wonderful. So thank you so much for our mods for facilitating the VOD blasters to be able to succeed. And you did. And it really means a lot to us.
It does.
So thank you. And
it's beautiful to see you all still in there.
It really is. And you have no idea how much you, by freeing up that spare time, has helped us tremendously.
Yeah, it has, yeah.
It really, really has.
Big time.
Thank you so much for that. So yeah, watch parties are still going.
Like me and the entity when we're beating you up.
Oh my God, what the hell, Jack? Oh man. Yeah, so thank you so much. Is there anything like life-wise you want to update everyone on?
Not really.
It's my birthday on Monday. It's my birthday month. It's been Abby's...
Yeah, it's Margaret's birthday month. So every time that we go to bed or we begin to turn the TV on and we're like, what are we watching? And Margaret like suggests something that I'm just like not interested in at all. She's like, it's my birthday month. It's my birthday month. You have to watch it with me.
You haven't caved yet, so
that's a lie. I caved the other day when we had to watch that documentary about Acacia, whatever her name was.
Acacia Kersey.
Yeah, I love that.
I love watching commentary videos. That's
you
my
do
bread
like
and
watching
butter.
commentary videos.
My life.
And I am not that interested in commentary videos.
Yeah.
I don't mind them now and then.
Oh, I love a little bit of commentary.
I'll watch them for you most of the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just don't want to watch them.
My birthday month, isn't it?
But it's my birthday month.
It was Abby's birthday on Tuesday. We went out for a nice Japanese meal. This is before the fact for us, but after the fact for you.
Yeah,
So.
that Japanese place is never bad.
No, never bad.
So I can
Never.
confidently say that it
Amazing.
was delicious.
Amazing meal. Happy birthday,
I don't know
Abby.
what I got because I'm one of those weird people who likes to just make their mind up on the day.
Good.
What I'm like fancying, you know?
Could never be me. Could
I like to
absolutely never be me.
be like, oh, today I think I'll have this.
Nope. Could absolutely never be
I know
me.
it's not
I
you,
know,
and I know that a lot of
exactly
people-
what I'm getting.
A lot of people aren't like that, but
Yeah,
I prefer it like that.
absolutely could not be me. So yeah, happy birthday, Abby, for
And-
Tuesday.
And
Happy birthday, me, for Monday.
happy birthday,
Happy
you
birthday
for
month
Monday.
to the both of us.
Yeah.
You know, I asked Abby was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" She obviously bought me the girl dinner T-shirt, and then I was like, "Could you just do like a ghost hunt for me?" Because she's spooky. Listen, if there's anyone spooky, it's Abby, and it's something I'm kind of interested in. And we came to the conclusion it's just not going to work. But I am going to go around to hers, and if you are into the paranormal, we're going to try something called the Estes method. She suggested not doing it in my home, and I completely agree, so I'm going to hers.
I don't think it's a good idea, personally, because I know who you are, and I know it'll, like, I'm telling you right now,
Traumatize me.
weeks,
Yep.
potentially even months
Yep.
after,
Mm-hmm,
you aren't going to be able to sleep.
No.
Every night you're going to be waking me up, being like,
There's a demon here.
there's a demon here. I've
Yep.
let the demons into the house
Yep.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Not going to be in the house, though.
Yeah, but you'll be like, it's
Yeah,
clinged
I
onto
know.
me and it's followed
I
me
know.
home.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but
I
you know,
will.
if that's what you want, I'm more than happy to do it with
Thank-
you and
thank
be
you so
there
much.
with you.
Thank you so much.
But
That's all I want.
I can only give my opinion.
Yeah. No, true. That's all we
I
can ever do.
That's all I can ever do.
So yeah, I don't think much else, to be honest.
Yeah.
We don't really do anything for birthdays anymore. We're old. It's my 30th. Like, I'm just over it, to be honest. So
we usually just don't buy each other things because we've got my birthday, Margaret's birthday,
then
and Christmas. So it'll be like
And-
three
and-
expensive months.
and
So
it's
we,
our nephew's birthday as well.
yeah, so we
like,
just buy things for Christmas.
Yeah,
around
yeah.
Christmas time and just treat ourselves.
Yeah, and you know, like as it is with being self-employed and running an online business, we make like it's 70% of our monthly wage right now.
Yearly wage.
Half of our yearly wage right now. So yeah, and we're just too busy to do anything around my birthday. Like we are really
big.
We are in crunch time now, especially by the time you watch this. We are in crunch time.
And that's why we're recording these on the same day.
Yep. We're gonna have to change our we've planned our schedules out. Nothing's changing for you guys, don't worry. But just so you know, next time you see us, we might be a little bit haggard, and we're probably going to get progressively more haggard.
Probably for you guys, probably for the next like couple, but for us it's going to be weeks.
Yeah. So yeah, please bear with us while we might seem a bit more frazzled. We might seem a little bit more.
How could we be more frazzled?
Well, just wait and see. And if we miss a couple
Prepare
of
yourselves.
uploads going into the next month or so, we'll do everything we can to avoid
not do that,
that.
but you know, it would only be momentarily, and we will be back with you as soon as we've finished.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for being patient with us.
So cheers.
Cheers to that.
To you.
Cheers to you.
To me, to Margaret, and to the entity.
To the entity. Hurrah.
Hurrah. Huzzah.
Hurrah. Huzzah. The
Huzzah!
entity. Yeah, I guess that's it really. I just wanted to give that PSA. We'll probably give that PSA a few times going forward from now.
Sublime.
Sublime. Shall we just get into what we want to talk about today? Actually, before we do, two things. I literally just now I'm getting the sketches back for my commission of Blythe, my Vengeance Paladin / potentially Swords Bard of Jack's next campaign. And the artist I have commissioned has done an incredible job. They have like really researched this for me.
Yeah.
Because I obviously don't have any art of Blythe, and she's being built from the ground up. I mashed together loads of things for a reference photo.
With me.
With you.
Yeah.
And they are working on it. And I'm so excited to show you guys.
It looks brilliant.
It looks I've literally seen her gauntlet.
Yeah. Well, no, you saw the rough sketch, like the pencil outlines.
Yeah. And
it looked great.
Yeah.
It looked fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will be sharing that with you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
We like to let you in on that stuff.
Yeah. Second thing, someone, Ananke left a comment being like, Margaret, if you're struggling with saying sessions,
yes,
you could try this rhyme.
And it's
it is.
I found the hack for it.
Yeah, you found the hack for it.
I have not quite worked it out, but I found the tech.
Just thought it'd be funny to do it, right?
So it is.
It's simple. Oh man,
you messed it. It's obviously you all know it.
Up.
It's she sells seashells on the seashore. So it is sh, s, sh.
That means nothing to me.
You got to
Jack.
go sh. So just with confidence, you know it's going to be.
She sells seashells by the seashore. See?
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Come on. And you?
Come on.
Good job.
Let me hear it. Entity in the back.
Oh, good job,
Nice
entity.
Nice entity.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah, or on the seashore, whichever one you want to say.
She sells seashells by the seashore. No?
No,
Was that not it?
I don't think so.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells.
Yes.
I was trying to do it twice. Oh, we're okay. We're all right. Panic! She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. Got the tech.
Seashells, she sells. Okay, I you know what? I can do it if I read it. I can do it if I read it. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Yeah. Well,
I've got the tech. How fast can you do it?
Yeah.
Come on, let's have a. She sells off.
I wish we could send voice notes in the comment. No, I don't. Wow, that would be a new level of unfathomable hell.
What if we just open them for today?
So thank you.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Oh, come on, you're showing off now.
Yeah, I like
Go
me
on,
and the entity
go on.
flexing on you.
Hercules. Yeah, has the entity taken my brain cell and put it
yeah.
into your head? Understood. That's it. Well, no, it's not. There was the last impromptu things.
Yeah.
So, what we wanted to go through last episode, but absolutely didn't have the time to. Thank you for sitting through a slightly longer episode last Monday.
Yeah,
on Monday.
Thank you, as if they weren't like.
As if you weren't foaming at the mouth for it.
Give me more. Yeah. Inject it into my veins.
We mentioned a while ago we started playing in our mod and more so our friend Lynn's campaign online, and it was our first online campaign, and it was a really great experience. Because of time commitments, we had to drop out. We simply don't have the time to do it.
We thought we might be able to, but we can't.
Yeah. So we had the finale of that session, and everyone has agreed they're okay with us talking about it.
Yeah.
So it was a little while ago now for us, so the details are not like a little bit blurry, but it was the big sad.
So to give you a rundown, basically in the one shot at the beginning that led into the campaign, like we had been strapped of our wind ether, which meant like we had been decreased from level 5 to level 3.
Yeah.
And we'd basically gone on a bit of a mission to find some wind ether crystals to like imbue them back into us.
Very much based on the lore of Final Fantasy, if you're familiar with it. I think I'm not familiar with it, but you know, the idea of ether, and there's all the 8 elements, and there's balance, right?
Yeah. So basically, we'd got the crystals, we'd come back, and we'd gone into like a simulation sort of thing to be like combined again with the wind ether.
It was a rough experiment.
Yes,
that the person
was a chance.
wasn't certain about doing, but we were like, yeah.
So basically, we had to go in, and we actually spoke to the goddess of wind.
Yes.
And she was like, okay, this can work. Yeah, I can bring you back to level 5, basically.
I can bring you back to level 5, but you're gonna have to
fight
destroy me
to do it.
Basically,
you're gonna have to like release my power to give to you.
Yeah.
So we got into a fight, and it was a really tough fight. And at the end of the fight, we TPK'd.
We did TPK.
Or so we thought.
So Lynn, after the fact, was like, yeah.
I wasn't planning to TPK you.
Wasn't supposed to TPK you.
But because we knew we were leaving.
It kind of worked out perfectly,
It kind of worked out. So the other 2 members of our party woke up, and they were back in their bodies, and they were level 5, and they had been reunited with their wind ether. Mm-hmm. But sadly, me and Margaret didn't wake up.
Yeah, we didn't wake up.
And our souls were like almost severed from our bodies.
Yeah. There was actually kind of like a sequence in when the wind ether was like blowing all around. I don't know what the right term.
Killing us.
Yeah. When the wind ether was literally killing us, there was like an insight check to make to see like, are we dying or what, right? Yeah. And I succeeded. I don't know who else succeeded. You failed.
It was Jordan and you that succeeded.
Yeah, and because I knew it was my last session, I was like, can I try to, before we go into like this river of souls and ether, which was going to like basically disperse us into ether, right? My character Kira is quite fond of Ratty P's character called Neff. And Neff is a genie warlock who had a familiar called Rue.
Yeah.
And Kira was very fond of Rue.
Yeah.
And we'd just gotten Rue back.
Rue's a bit cute.
Rue's a little bit cute, a little chocobo. Yeah, you know it.
That's going to be stuck in your head for the rest of the day.
Sorry.
You're welcome.
Sorry. And I said, like, with Kira's like last remaining strength, can she try to like scoop Rue up as Rue's being pulled in and like project him over to Neff to try and give Neff like a second chance to...
Or like your success.
Yeah, I wanted to give my success to Rue to give to Neff, basically, as like a goodbye type thing. And yeah, like Jack said, we woke up in a room and the other two woke up and we didn't.
Yeah, well, we did eventually. But we were like soul severed, basically, something like that. Like we got up, but our bodies were still on the bed. We were together.
Yeah.
And we could see our friends, but they couldn't see us.
They couldn't see us.
They could send us messages because technically we were in a different realm, like the fucking shadow realm or something. Yeah. And we basically said our goodbyes like over sending, and I told Jordan that I could still see him.
Yeah, you're like, weird, but I can still see you.
Weird, but I can still see you. I know you can't see me, but I can see you. Right. And then we went off to like find the answers to why, like, or how to get back into our bodies.
Yeah, because Lynn did a clever thing where she was like, they're not dead, but then also not here, and you would have to go through something to bring them back, which is nice because it means if we go in and we do a guest, we do a one shot with them. Yeah. There's the option that we can go back as those characters and have those relationships, and it's a really nice way to finish it off. And I'm not going to cry talking about this because it was very sad enough. We all cried apart from you. Yes. There was a lot of tears from everyone. Yeah. And may I also add, Jordan, after the fact, forgot it was mine and Jack's last session. No, not after the fact. In the moment. In the moment, didn't realize it was our last session.
So when Ratty P was Ratty P was the other player. Ratty P was
very much like, look, it's okay.
It's okay. We'll find a way to bring them back and stuff like that. And Jordan was like,
No,
we've got to do it now. Let's try. Can we try this? Can we try that? And
then, really trying to bring us back.
And then after the session,
he was like,
when we spoke to him again, he was like, I may have forgotten that you were leaving.
I forgot about that. And
I thought he was just playing it.
Yeah, I was like
really
wow,
well.
That's good commitment to the bit. Yeah. That really is. And it was very sad, and we got to kind of say goodbye in a strange way. And Kira carried a journal with her with a letter in. And the letter contained her whole backstory. Yeah. It was like 400 words of a backstory, right? And Neff, I'm not gonna cry. Neff, like, went over to Kira's body and like took the journal, but like gave her the letter back and put it in her hands. And Kira made a point, like in a spirit life. I don't know, in a spiritual form. Yeah. She actually picked up the letter and gave it back to Ratty P. To Neff. And God, Neff read it out and out loud. Incredible job, by the way.
Yeah, you read it really
did
well.
An incredible job reading it out loud, and it's obviously a very sad story. And to give you the basic gist of it, Kira was a follower of the Dark Goddess Valia, who had started wars and was the big bad, basically, right? But back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was all about balance. And her and her people eventually got exterminated, killed off, whatever. And Kira, in a last-ditch attempt, like the priests were like, we need to try and salvage whatever we can of our history. We're going to put you and a few others in stasis. Hopefully, when this is all over, you can wake up and spread the word that we're not bad people. And Kira's letter is to whoever has found her, because she didn't think she was ever going to wake up. Yeah. And about it was the big emphasis on how, even though she's perceived to be the bad guy, she wants the reader to make that mind up for themselves. And she hopes that one day they can meet and they can sit together and enjoy each other's company in both the light and the dark. Yeah. And she ended the sentence ended, and we can do this as friends. And I circled friends in red and in her handwriting wrote, I found them. I found my friends. And I handed it to them, and it was really sad.
It was really sad, yeah, and everyone was crying.
And it was really sad, and I'm not going to cry about it because I've cried about it too much. And if I think about it too much, I will cry. It was just a really lovely session, to be honest. And it was harrowing.
Yeah.
And it was nice, even though we only played a few sessions. We were all very close.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was lovely. So thank you, Lynn.
Thank you,
Lynn, for a wonderful first online experience.
And like a lot of you out there, like you might be able to learn something from Lynn, because Lynn had only really DM'd one-shots before the campaign.
Yeah.
And Lynn, I'm pretty sure Lynn will be totally fine with me saying this, but Lynn is the sort of dungeon master who started DMing a proper campaign and then realised that she actually only really likes doing one-shots.
Yeah.
And we've got Matthew's like that as well.
Exactly the same, yeah.
And a lot of people like sort of think, oh, well, if I want to be a DM, I've got to do it for like this long. And it's just like, no,
Certainly
you could
not.
just run like one after another of like 4, 5, 6, even 10, like
certainly
10 long shots,
shots,
I guess.
Yeah.
One shots for long shots,
yeah. And it was a really great experience. It was a wonderful first introduction to our online sessions. And, our friends we played with, Ratty P and Jordan, like, what a great example of just kind of suspending your disbelief a little bit and just getting along with each other.
Yeah.
Not making it weird,
Yeah.
immediately forming bonds, being nice to each other, like, taking the bait. What a wonderful experience it was.
It was great.
So it's a shame that we had to stop, but
we just didn't have the time.
Truly, really didn't.
Yeah.
Really, truly didn't. So, yeah, that's what we wanted to update you
really.
on. Yeah. And obviously, Jordan, with his character Kylan, not realizing it was our last session and being like, no, we're going to bring them back. We're going to bring them back. He sent a very nice message and was like, I will check on you every day.
Yeah.
I swear to you, I will work this out. We're not going to stop until we do. We've already got a lead and we're going to work on it. And what a wonderful, wonderful way to end the session.
It was, yeah.
So thanks, guys.
Cheers, guys.
What else? We have the homebrew winner.
Yeah.
We have the homebrew winner. Is that what you thought I was going to announce? No. We have the homebrew winners of the very last spooky themed thing. It's November. Get out of here. We don't want spooky patooey.
But we will announce it.
we will announce it. We will do that.
Because you worked hard on it.
Yeah, you did work extremely hard on it. These are spooky feats, not the the feat is in the feature.
The feature.
And we currently have a homebrew challenge going on for our first theme of festive. Festive spell. So please.
So get in there and give me your festive spells.
All right.
Are you conjuring Christmas cookies?
Yeah.
Conjuring mince pies?
You have till Monday to get that in. So without any further ado,
forcing joy on people?
Us.
Yeah. Forced joy.
Shall we just get into it?
Go for it.
All right. So as usual, we do 2 runners up and we do a winner.
A wiener.
So,
number 1 runner-up.
The first runner-up is Adam Smiley.
Adam Smiley.
And he goes by he, him. And his his socials are Adam Smiley 96 everywhere. And Adam is one of the Podblasters.
Adam is one of the Podblasters.
So thank you so much, Adam. Congratulations.
Thank you, Adam.
So the name of the feat is called Haunted Breath. And the only prerequisite is that you are a wizard.
I'm spooked.
Oh my God. Show me. Feat abilities. Taking this feat grants the following abilities, and the player can choose between them. 1. There isn't one. Adam did not say one.
You do like to say one, though.
I do. Haunting Breath. Oh, I just spat.
That's all right.
Back onto my own face. Did anyone see that?
How did you do that?
I don't know.
Curved it.
Yeah, I literally curveballed it.
Or did you spit and then headbutt it?
Yeah, I curveballed it into my own face. Haunting Breath. You can breathe out the souls in the form of a thick green smoke. It will fill a 20-foot sphere. Any creature in that sphere must make a wisdom saving throw to a DC equals your spell save DC, or be overcome with fear as the souls swarm them. Visions of skulls flying around them, screaming in their ears. There is no effect on a successful save.
Very cool.
Very cool. What are you thinking of that?
There's a spell in WoW.
There is a spell in WoW that does that.
That does something like that. It's like blue skulls. No, it's not. It's like blue skulls. Was it an old spell? Is it like
yeah?
Is it like Soul Rend or something like that?
I was gonna say there's something like that in like a Harry Potter movie.
But I can just see all of the souls like the skulls going around in the area with like blue mist following behind them. You alright?
Yeah, but also fuck Harry Potter and fuck J.K. Rowling. So get fucked.
Give a bit of that. Huh?
Yeah, Fuck you, turf.
Fuck you, J.K. Rowling.
But yeah, that's very cool. That's
very,
awesome.
very cool.
The next one is chilling words. You infuse the necrotic energy of the souls into anything that you say. Any creature that can hear you within 60 feet and understand your language must make a wisdom saving throw equal to your spell save DC or take 2d4 psychic damage and must use their next turn to move away from you. And on a success, there is no effect. Cool. Is this painting a picture for you?
This one?
Yeah, all of it together.
Oh, yeah. Spooky.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously. I decided, yeah, okay. Then the next one. Deafening.
Oh my god, we're going so fast. What's going on?
Deafening screech. You let out a scream infused with
Is this the winner?
This is a runner-up.
Is this another runner-up?
This is all the same thing.
These are all the same feet.
This is all the same feet, Jack.
Oh, wow. I was like, oh my god, you're going so fast.
Oh my god, this is all the same feet.
Right, so this is still Adam.
This is still Adam.
Right, I was going to say.
Oh my god.
I thought you were like, just take like, next one.
I didn't even say the names.
No, I didn't. Yeah, you surprised me, I'll be honest.
Yeah, this is all Adams. There's 3 features. That's why I was like 1. Yeah. I should have been like 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you didn't say, it's because you didn't say 2. It's because you didn't say 2. I think you should start saying 2.
2.
Okay.
Well, 3.
Well, this is 3.
3.
Number 2 was the whispers.
So now you know they're one of the same. Is it painting a picture for you other than spooky?
Yeah? What's the feat called?
It's called Haunted Breath.
Yes.
Okay. What picture does it be?
Read the last one.
3. Deafening screech. You let out a scream infused with the necrotic energy of the souls. Any creature within 60 feet must make a constitution. I've got the giggles.
You got the giggles.
Do you like how I changed so quickly from 30 to 60 there?
What do you mean?
Just... What's going on?
Are you okay? Oh my goodness.
I went to say 30, but I changed it to 60.
60.
Constitution saving throw of your spell save DC or be deafened for the next minute, and there is no effect on a successful save. The law. Here, this is what I was trying to get you to say out loud. A lich's phylactery has many uses.
Ooh.
Restoring the lich to life on death. To life on death. Oh my god. Being used as a magical focus, but mostly as a device to store the souls that a lich will later devour to maintain their life. Well, a very clever lich by the name Valkyrie discovered that you could transition the souls from a phylactery into pure necrotic energy and breathe the souls back out with a number of various uses.
Very cool.
Anybody with enough access to enough souls, maybe even their own soul catcher, and a keen mind for necromancy are able to are able to learn this ability, gaining the above skills. And you can just use regular necrotic energy for this field.
Narcotic. Narcotic necrocy.
I said field instead of feet. The souls are just flavor. Adam, I'm sorry. I
very
promise.
Cool. Very, very cool.
See,
very
lich.
Cool.
It's giving lich.
It's giving lich. It's giving lich.
What do you think?
It's very cool.
I love that.
I like the... I thought you were going to say a very clever lich. This is you. I'm not changing your feet here, Adam.
Changed.
But changed. I thought you were going to say a very clever lich found a way to make a person.
Oh,
so anyone who takes this, they might like
God
take it, and when they do, they don't realize, but they've become
a homunculi or whatever.
Basically,
oh,
yeah.
That's cool. I don't think that's the right term, by the way.
They've become a phylactery.
That's
the word for the lich, so they could maybe like take over the body of this person.
Ooh, that's cool. But I mean, you know, as it stands though,
very cool. Very thematic.
I love liches. I don't know what it is. I just love a lich.
Yeah.
I love the idea of like Adam said, like undeath and like being able to. You feed on souls and you can like sever parts of your consciousness into different things and they have to be destroyed to destroy you. Do you know what I mean?
Like Vecna.
Yeah.
Vecna is
cool. I do like Vecna.
Vecna is cool.
And I really like I like the fact, I know I confused you by the fact that there's 3. I like that you can choose between the different options.
I do
love a bit of options.
I love options.
Yeah, me too.
When I choose a subclass, I like it to have options.
Me too.
When I choose a spell, I like it to have options. When I choose a feat, I like it to have options. It doesn't just do one thing. That's why I like the Slasher, Crusher, Piercer feat.
Yes, yeah.
Because they, like you get to move something with Crusher. Also, when you score a critical hit, they have like disadvantage on all attacks.
Yeah.
Like things that do like a couple of things.
Agreed.
Feel good in my opinion.
Very much agreed. I like that.
I like this.
I like that there's options. Yeah, very cool. Thank you so much, Adam.
What was
very
it called?
Cool. It was called Haunted Breath.
Haunted Breath. Very
love
cool.
that. Absolutely love that. And you know what? I just love the flavor that it's like being a wizard too.
It would be really cool
love
Adam, if you did do that, like you become the Phalanx.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
But you like change the letters around so it's spelt phylactery but in a different way, and it was like just a cool. Like you made it an anagram.
Homunculi.
That is not homunculi. Is not an anagram of phylactery.
What do you mean?
But it'd be cool if you did do that. So then, like, I don't know. I like anagrams.
Yeah.
Gended Hoon.
I'm too dumb to understand anagrams.
Gended was his name was born out of the fact they call him the deranged one.
And we never guessed that.
We
never ever guessed it. And the amount of times we'd lay in bed at night and you'd be like, if you thought about it, you'd get it. And I was like, no.
Nah, to be fair, it was tough.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you for your
Adam.
wonderful submission. All right, the next runner up. This is Teddysaurus, and he goes by he, they.
Teddysaurus. Let's go. Another OG. I think Adam is now as well.
I think so too. Actually,
Adam's a big
homebrewer. Their socials are Teddysaurus on everything. I will of course leave credit below. So the feat name is Hunger of the Damned, and the prerequisites are a necromancy wizard, a grave cleric, or a spores druid.
Cool.
Very cool.
I like that. I know that a lot of people don't like them, like racial specific feats and traits and stuff like that, but I do kind of like it. It just makes you feel really
like
customizable.
Agreed.
You're right, babe.
Yep, I'm fine.
Narcotic.
No. Homunculi. So, the law.
The law.
You have slain many foes in your adventure.
I have.
You delved into the unnatural realm of death. You have seen the strings of life and made them bend to your will. Your dreams are filled with the sounds of the dead. Your hands are stained crimson with their lives. You remember their faces, their names, the sound of their screams cut short by you.
Jesus.
And right now, on the edge of your vision, where the colours mesh together and the shadows disappear, you see them again. They stalk, they wait for your command. They're hungry, and you can only watch as they slaughter, just like you slaughtered them. I got goosebumps from that.
Jesus.
That gave me goosebumps.
Fucking Jesus.
Yeah, that's cool as fuck.
That's cool.
That's cool. I like, man,
kind of spooky.
The edge of your vision.
But that's it. It's like I think turning that. Remember we had that submission where it's just like you would get bared down by the amount of people you've killed. It's like this is the feat to embody that.
Totally.
I have killed a lot of people.
Yeah,
I've
and
killed a lot of
how
people.
fitting that necromancy wizard, a grave cleric or a death cleric, and a spores druid. So the feat.
I mean, a grave cleric would be great.
Perfect. Toe in the line, right?
Yeah.
Feat abilities. You learn the spells Summon Undead and Summon Shadow Spawn. Creatures you summon deal an additional 1d6 plus 3 necrotic damage and gain resistance to damage dealt by the summoner. Creatures that you summon must succeed a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC or be driven mad, attacking any nearby creatures except the summoner until they are slain. And Teddysaurus also consents for people to use this.
Love it.
How cool is that?
And I love the, like, any damage dealt by you, like, if you're, like, chucking fireballs in there, they're, like, taking less damage. It just feels thematic.
Yeah. I love the idea that you're just haunted. You're so haunted by the spirits of things you've killed that they're always there.
Yeah.
And you can then call upon them, but there is a chance that they're going to lose their minds.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a little bit of me.
Very cool.
That's a little bit of me.
Very cool.
I very much love that. That is so cool and so spooky.
Very spooky.
Also, cool. Adam consented to anyone using it as well too. So if you like either of these two feats, please go ahead and use them.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Teddysaurus. That's
the wiener.
Awesome. The wiener. Are we ready? The winner.
You upset the dog.
No, I yelled too loud.
No, they're okay.
Oh no, he's fine. Oh yeah, he's fine. The winner of the last installment of Spooky for a Spooky feet. It's Sheri.
Hey, well done, Sheri.
Her pronouns are she, her, and she consents for use.
Nice.
And Sheri is one of our mods. And Sheri
Yes.
is actually the person who suggested that we start the Homebrew Challenge. So it's very...
Sheri is the reason the Homebrew Challenge exists.
Yeah, it comes full circle, right?
Yeah, it does,
comes full circle. So the name of this is called Curse Hungered.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
The law. For those who have feasted on a witch's brew, or maybe a demon or a hag's fantastical feast.
Chowing down on them feet.
No.
Yeah.
Fantastical feast.
Yeah.
The long-lasting effects of your naive choice have made you eternally... Okay.
Try that one again.
The long-lasting effects... A fantastical feast, by the way.
Feast. Feast.
Stop!
She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashells by the seashore. You did really well there.
Thank you so much. I'm out of breath. Fantastical feast. The long-lasting effects of your naive choice have made you... I need to take a break.
This entire podcast is a disaster.
It's because we're filming. We very rarely now film two in the same day, so when we do, we're a bit weird.
Yeah.
Right, how about I go from the beginning?
What? But
Sheri,
I'm
so
following
sorry.
this to a T.
Okay. For those who are feasted on a witch's brew, or maybe a demon or hags. I'm clapping us out. Right, we've calmed down.
I don't think we have.
We've calmed down, and listen, I'm just gonna have to power through this.
Go for it.
For those who have feasted on a witch's brew, or maybe a demon or hag's fantastical feast, the long-lasting effects of your naive choice have made you eternally hungry. This to most would be a tragic curse, but knowing the fickleness of those who cursed you, it comes with additional benefits.
What was the feat called?
Curse hungered. Abilities. Your constitution score increases by 1 and can go beyond the maximum of 20, which is wild, by the way. And I love that.
Nah, not really. I think a lot of people go above 20.
But I like it in context of this being like curse hungered. It's like, yeah, your constitution would probably go above 20, right?
Yeah.
Because
Eating the feet.
you are immune to poison damage, poisons and their effects, and the poisoned condition. Now, starving.
Immune, that's good.
Yeah, I like that. And again, that I feel like that ties in.
I think it definitely ties into the feat.
That ties in with the whole constitution thing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starving identification. After consuming food, you know if the food was poisoned, and a nature/medicine check of a moderate DC can be rolled to determine if you know what poison it was and its effects. Very cool.
John, what? You might have to say it again because you started laughing and I zoned out as soon as you started laughing. I started laughing.
After consuming food, well, it's called starving identification. After consuming food, you know if the food has been poisoned by a nature or a medicine check of a moderate DC can be rolled to be determined if you know what poison it was and its effects.
Awesome.
Very cool. Being able to detect if it's poison.
A little bit of util.
And soul sustenance. A number of times per day up to your con mod plus proficiency bonus to a max of 11. You can use a bonus action after making a weapon or spell attack roll to supernaturally feed off your target's soul. This eerie bite has a reach of 20 feet and deals 3d4 necrotic damage, healing you for the same damage that it deals. The target must make a DC 13 wisdom saving throw or become frightened of you for 1 minute.
I'm not surprised.
If you're yeah, but oh my god, imagine like being able to bite someone
from 20
feet. And the eerie bite. If your spell or weapon attack has multiple targets, you can expend multiple uses on the same turn to affect every target once.
Wow.
I love that. I think that's so cool. I love the frightened condition as well.
Yeah. I don't, as a dungeon master. The frightened condition for me is it can render entire encounters trivial.
Yeah, you are
not being able to move closer to the party and stuff if the tank just stands in front of them. man, so good.
Yeah.
If somebody's down and they get frightened, you just go and stand in front of the down person and they just can't get any closer.
Yeah.
So good.
Good, clean fun, that, innit? Good, clean fun.
A lot of things can be immune to frighten.
Yeah. And then finally, Eager Eater. Whenever you are offered or presented with food, you must make a DC 15 wisdom save or immediately begin to eat as your hunger overtakes you. The DC gets incrementally harder with each success until you have eaten or take a long rest. I love that.
Very cool.
I love, you know
Thematic.
what? To be fair, she did put in the beginning, love me a feat that has a drawback. And
yes,
I like that. I don't know why, to me, the idea of being like so starving in that way, that freaks me out.
Yeah, it's kind of like the insatiable hunger.
That's it. I don't know why that freaks me out so
and
much.
The sort of like, and I just imagine the way that they're eating.
I know,
like,
is
they're,
like absolutely
the
like
food into their
grotesque,
mouth.
right?
Grotesque, yeah.
And like the bite fucks me up as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I feel like it could be quite good in like, I don't know, let's just say we just got to a new town and we're trying to make a good impression, but then you get to the tavern and you're trying to eat.
I know.
It's like that happens and everyone's like,
and like you know the whole like uncanny valley thing where it's like there's something just a little bit off about the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
And man, like again, to go back to the bite again, like the eerie bite. The fact that it's a bite, I don't know why that freaks me out so much. That really freaks me out. You know that dude, is it Squidward eating pickles?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sheri.
Well done, Sheri.
What a fucking cool one. I'm sorry we butchered that so much.
What do you mean? We did it perfectly first time.
I don't know how many takes I'm going to leave in, but there was a lot of takes.
Every single one.
There was a lot of takes
for
there,
the content.
Sheri. Yeah, congratulations. You are going into the Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame!
And thank you so much. And if you like the sound of having your creation potentially read on the Podblast.
Yes, and mocked by Margaret and I.
Mocked relentlessly. Please enter our
current festive spell homebrew challenge in the Discord.
Yeah.
Head on over to the Discord and join in.
Submissions close on Monday the 20th.
Monday the 20th. Margaret's
B-day.
birthday. Remember that.
All right. I think that's it. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Goodbye. Peace out.
Peace.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get into the topic. I was going to say the homebrew challenge.
Let's get into the homebrew challenge again.
Man. So today we are doing some advice.
For you.
For you. Move out the way.
You, the entity.
You. These are obviously all submissions.
Yes.
I have something to admit.
You've done it again.
Every 500 submissions. Oh, no, yeah. Also, yeah, absolutely, completely no follow-ups. I'm so sorry. Oh, well, okay. The reason there's no follow-ups is because yesterday, when I was putting this episode together, I realized the error of my ways. Every 500 or so submissions,
we make a new form. Because it gets really hard to navigate.
Yeah, it doesn't look any different for you, but for us, it's just a new form. We did this a little while ago, and I was like, oh, well, we're getting like, there's definitely a decrease of submissions coming in, but that's normal. Turns out, in our description, there's multiple places you can click for the link. I left one of the links to the old one.
So you've been submitting some of them to the old one.
Which I haven't been checking.
That's maybe why we've been missing some submissions. So we have maybe not I don't want to say in abundance, but we've got far more than we thought we did.
Got far more than we thought we did, to be honest.
So
I was wondering why the new form didn't have that many in, but
it's because you've been using.
It's because I was and I wasn't looking. So yeah,
there we go. Mystery solved.
Yeah, myth busted.
So if you've put something in the last maybe month or so,
could you please resubmit it?
Could you maybe resubmit it?
Yeah, and that goes for everything, not just advice, by the way.
That goes for every single submission type.
Just if you could resubmit
just resubmit it, please.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks. Thank you.
Advice. Again, we want to try and do the best we can with this advice, but some things might not be relevant to you. Without the full story, we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll just do our best. And if you don't like the advice we give, that's fair enough.
Completely fair.
'Tis your life. Live it.
If we say something and you're unsure, please feel free to send in a follow-up.
Yes, so we can never read.
You're welcome. So, this has been sent in by Anonymous, and she goes by she, her.
Thank you, Anonymous, for your submission.
Thank you so much, Anonymous. Hi, I've been listening to the Podblast for a while now, and it's taught me a lot of things.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad.
That's amazing.
In fact, I give some credit to you two for giving me the confidence to try DMing a campaign for the first time. Congratulations. Nothing to do with us. All you.
It's all you.
All you.
You were the one that did it.
All you. I created a homebrew world in the Feywild, picked up players I wanted at my table, and I took the leap of faith to be the DM about a month ago.
Excellent.
If somehow my players are watching this, this is about the Monday Night Feywild campaign that started in September, so please skip this part of the Podblast. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Now go away.
Now get out of here.
Get out of here.
Now
Scram.
get out of here.
I'm trying to do better with timestamps, so there's the timestamp somewhere. I don't know where it'll take you, but
down
hopefully
below.
Hopefully away from this, right?
Just straight into the spoilers for the campaign.
where she's naming people like first and last name.
And this person is actually dead, but the rest of the party don't know.
So I need some advice. When I was creating this campaign, I quickly realized that story, NPCs, world building, etc. comes very easily to me.
Awesome.
That's the biggest part of the battle, to be honest. However, my combat is an entirely different beast that is giving me some trouble. My players are all wonderful, supportive people who are there for a good time. They know that this is my first time DMing and that there are bound to be some hiccups as I try to figure everything out. The problem is that no matter what I do differently, my combats always feel either too easy and boring or like a potential TPK. I cannot find the middle ground. I've come to dread a session prep. If I need to prep a combat encounter, I hit a brick wall mentally and I just sit there in my feelings and nothing substantial gets done. One of my players who's also DM told me that he thinks the combat feels too easy, and he's right. The party consists of 6 level 4 players. 5 of them, due to classes/subclasses they picked, already have 2 attacks, which most of their characters would get at level 5. So if I throw monsters that are technically at their level at them, they mow them over in a round, barely taking any damage or using up any of their abilities. If I throw monsters that are a level above them, the monsters are too powerful, and I end up sometimes fudging rolls to save the party. And in brackets, I know, I'm sorry, but I refuse to kill a PC a month into my DMing because I can't figure out how to balance encounters. I will not do it.
You don't need to apologise. That's your game and you do whatever you want. And anybody who ever tries to tell you that that's wrong can go and fuck themselves.
They're not you, they're not your players, and
no one cares.
No one
and
cares.
if they care, tell them to get the fucking nose out of your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I've tried boosting the power of level 4 monsters. They're still too easy. I nerfed down the level 5 monsters, and they're too easy. But if I don't change them, then the combat is deadly. I just don't know what to do. I've done the research on how to build encounters. I've asked one of the DM players for help. I've read the DM's guide. I watched Critical Role in Dimension 20, and I've been a player for a long time. I know what makes an interesting combat in theory, but in practice, actually building it is so much harder. I've asked my players over and over again if the combats are okay and how they're feeling about the campaign. I always get positive, encouraging responses, but I just don't feel good about what I'm giving them. So what should I do? How would you balance an encounter for this party? It feels awful to be on my back foot every time the table engages in a core mechanic of D&D. And I know it's a little too early in my DMing journey to be this hard on myself, but I can't help it. We are our own worst critic after all.
100%.
Any advice would help. Thank you so much.
I've got a million bits of advice for you, so
I knew you would.
Don't worry.
I knew you would.
So, one thing that I think, so if you heard this person say fudging rolls this and that, and you got upset, turn yourself off for a moment because I'm about to say something that you're going to heinously disagree with, and just I don't care, so leave me alone. So what you're going to do for your next combat is you're going to almost completely not plan it. And you're going to have the thematics of the monster and what it looks like and how many of them there are. And you're going to basically make it up on the fly. You're going to have like a standard amount of damage it does. And if it's not much, then you can be like, that was a low roll. If it's too much, then it was a high roll and something like that on the dice. You're not going to make up. You're going to like have an idea of its AC. You're not going to have an idea of its hit points. Just when the fight is done, it is done. And you're going to note down how much damage was a good amount of damage to give out, how much damage was too much, how much damage was too little. What they're hitting, what you've got to think about is, if you've got one creature, if their AC is if they rolled a 10 plus their modifier, that's going to be a 50-50 to hit.
Yeah.
If you've got a lot of little things on the map, if their AC is what their modifier is plus 10, then they're going to be really hard to kill.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, like, if you've got lots of monsters, you want to bring it down. Don't be scared to not have a HP pool just for a little while till you realize how much damage your players can output and also how much they can take.
Yeah. And like, again, the whole not having a HP pool thing isn't a permanent solution.
It's not a permanent solution. It's just a solution for right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just like go into the next combat, having a general idea of how much damage like it could output and an AC, and don't even think about the fucking hit points or anything like that. Just when the combat is over, and begin to sort of note down like averages of like how much your party can do, and how much your monsters can do.
Yeah.
And then when you find that perfect balance, you just keep it. You know, like squish that into one monster if it's a one monster fight. Yeah. Spread it out amongst little monsters if it's a bunch of little monsters fight. When they level up, then you up everything again.
Exactly. It's like you build a template, right?
Basically.
You build like the skeleton of the thing, and then you can flesh it out however you want to after that.
Do you record your sessions? Because you may not be able to do all of that whilst trying to like give out a good combat.
If you don't record your sessions, just record them briefly while you're working this out. Obviously get everyone's consent, of course.
Another thing. So one thing like that makes combat so much more exciting and tougher without actually having any other enemies is, if you listen to our last episode, there was the fight on the bridge that took place in my one shot where there was an arcane bomb.
Yeah, second objective.
And second objectives make combats more exciting and also a lot harder because not everyone is trying to kill the monster.
It's technically like splitting the party within a combat, right?
You need to basically... it's a numbers game and you'll get it right. You will get it right.
Yeah.
If you know exactly how much, like just look at the weapon damage and the modifiers. And then you can start to be like, well, they'll probably dish out about this much. Sometimes they just get 14 crits in a row. And
sometimes they just get lucky, and that's how it goes. But those combats feel good. Yeah. Just so you know, the combats that sometimes you do steamroll feel good because you're sometimes doing it, right?
Yeah,
so don't be afraid to sometimes let them just steamroll the thing.
Yeah. Like let's just say the paladin can do, I don't know, 10 per round. Like each time the paladin goes, it's 10. And then each time the wizard goes, it's 15. Each time the rogue goes, it's 10. Each time the cleric goes, it's 10. And then you're like, okay, that's 45 points of damage. I want it to be a relatively long combat. Let's just add them hit points up. And then you start to get a range of hit points. And then you need to think about, like, is everyone's to hit the same? And I said, big monsters have big AC because they need to be harder to hit because there's only one of them. Little creatures need to have less AC because, yes, you might be able to hit them more, but getting one thing out of the initiative order is just like, okay, that thing's done. Now on to the next thing.
Yeah,
it's just
completely.
Like, so there's so many ways to, if you want to just make them harder, then we do need to figure out the numbers. If you want to make them more interesting, second objectives, don't be afraid to use things like lair actions.
Totally.
Don't be afraid to give your monsters like big abilities. I remember Kay, our mod, came to me and I was helping her plan up one of her first combats. And she was like, we're going to fight some goblins. And I was like, right, well, we're not just going to have goblins. We're going to have goblins. We're going to have a goblin champion. We're going to give them a rallying cry. And the rallying cry comes back in a 5 and a 6. And on the goblin champion's turn, we roll it. And if we get a 5 or a 6, they let out this scream. And that means everyone's
empowered.
Every goblin's next attack has advantage. And it's just like, just give them like, gives each combat, just give something in there, something cool.
Yeah, and you know, phasing is a thing as well. If they're going up specifically against one big thing. And I suppose phasing is more relevant for things like your boss fights, right? Yeah. Consider phasing. Consider there be a certain hit point threshold, a certain point in the combat that something happens, that they gain a new ability, they revitalize some way, that there is a second phase to the fight. And then you might find somewhere in between, you say like, I level up the level 4 things and they're too hard. I level down the level 5 things and they're too easy. There's a happy medium in the middle there somewhere.
And also you're saying like level 4 and level 5, like are you using CR?
Yeah.
Because if you're using CR, just don't.
Yeah.
Like just don't. And it's because CR is based on having 6 combats a day.
Yeah.
And if you have 6 combats a day and you're using CR, yeah, every single one's not going to be tough, but that's because you've got to spread out your resources.
Absolutely.
Over six combats.
You're typically going to steamroll something with CR.
And I'm going to just take a stab in the dark and say that you don't run 6 combats per session.
Yeah.
Because basically no one does.
A lot of modern D&D players don't now.
Sessions don't.
Yeah, a lot don't.
So
and I think another thing to note is, are you aware of all of the things and abilities and features and attacks that your players have? One thing that really helped me when I DM'd, I had the same problem as you, by the way, OP. I struggled to balance things, but that's because I also didn't give it a fair shot, right? But I made a note, and it depends how much extra work you're willing to put into this. It sounds like, to be fair, you're willing to put in as much work as you need to, right?
Yeah.
I just made a spreadsheet. Surprise, surprise. And I just literally, I noted down each specific ability that my players had.
Yeah.
And I could just refer to that quickly when building a combat, going, okay, well, let's face it, the Twilight Cleric is probably going to put up their healing pool somewhere. So I have to account for that, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Getting a good grasp on what they have and what they use often is key.
Very, very, very important.
And finally, from me, and Jack's word is definitely more paramount than mine here.
They're both as important.
No, I would say you definitely, you live it, and you're incredibly good at combat encounters, right? Don't be afraid to use things like difficult terrain. Maybe put in a feature where I don't know what your party makeup is. Is there a lot of melee? Maybe delay some of them being able to get to the thing first of all, not for too long, because that feels really bad.
Yeah, it feels kind of stinky.
But can you impose something like that? Do you use your advantage disadvantage tokens? Can you give someone disadvantage on an attack? Can you have the creature hide behind something and give them half cover? Like things like that as well.
And like I said, maybe go in with an idea of what damage they do. Let's just say they do 2d6 damage.
Yeah.
And you get into the first round of combat and you're getting absolutely fucking steamrolled.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what? Next round of combat, they're doing 2d8. And because there's nothing wrong for you to change it while you're still not understanding how to balance everything perfectly.
Absolutely.
Give yourself that freedom, like I said earlier. Have a general idea. Okay, they're going to do 2d6. When we get in the combat, 2d6 isn't enough. Right, well, it's now it's 2d8.
Yeah.
And it gets to add the strength modifier. And then they go, oh, fucking hell.
Yeah,
and then you go, okay.
Okay, that's the point.
That put them that made them go... Yeah. And as soon as you know that, you're either hitting the right spot or it's dialed up a little too much. So it's just and then you can start to get the idea.
Totally.
And something as a lot of DMs don't do, and maybe that's because, they don't want to make people think that they're targeting them or anything like that. But if you've got a good relationship with your party, be honest and just be like, what's everyone's HP?
Yeah.
Because then if you can be like, I thought I wasn't doing very good, and then everyone goes, well, actually, I'm on 10 hit points.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's like just finding out this information. You, as a dungeon master, to plan combats, you need information.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely. Like, the more information you have, the more informed decisions you can make. Use
your map to your enemy's advantage. Totally. Is this like home turf for the enemy? Can they burrow under the ground? Can they go invisible behind the leaves?
Totally.
You got to remember that your players are fucking strong as fuck. So don't,
intentionally so.
And if it is going a little haywire and a little too much, don't be afraid to rein it in earlier.
Completely.
Earlier.
And everything. I completely agree with everything Jack said. Like, for the time being, don't worry about changing things up, because listen, your players aren't gonna know. No. I don't care what anyone says. Your players are not gonna know unless it is very obvious, and unless you're going from I don't know, a D6 damage to
fucking 4d6.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not gonna know. And things like, do they have a charged weapon? If they have a charged weapon and you need it back that turn,
did they just get it back that turn?
Just give it back to him.
Yeah. Or did they get them back when they hit half health? Is that something that you just made up on the spot? It's fine.
Exactly.
Like you are right now doing your best for your players.
You are.
So take as many liberties as you need.
Of course.
Just if you need this thing to have more hit points, for you to get the information of how much damage they can do, you give it a few more hit points.
I think what people don't realize is DMing, and you know what? Specifically, the element of combat is a learning curve. It's 100%. Like learning to drive, learning how to ride a bike. These things aren't supposed to come naturally because they're not natural. You have to learn how to do them.
People are just naturally better at it.
Yeah.
And some people do have to really work at making the combats good, and that's fine. Like, but you are not the only person who's been in a situation. You won't be the last person in a situation.
No
will
way.
you find out how to fix it? Yes.
You will. Of
And
course you will.
if you use those things that we just said there, if you don't have to use them all at once, even if you just be like, okay, today I'm going to try this. Today I'm going to try this.
Yep.
Today I'm going to try this.
Yep.
And then by the end, you'll be good.
And get feedback from your players as well. When you've done something new, at the end of the session, just say, what did everyone think of that? And get people's feedback.
Honest feedback.
Totally.
And also, another thing that I'll just quickly mention, a lot of times, if you are a one combat a session sort of person, like, just because the combat ends doesn't mean that and the session ends doesn't mean they get a long rest. A lot of people don't quite realize the power of like multiple combats before a long rest.
Totally.
That will take care of 99% of your problems.
Totally.
Is you have a fight, they get to short rest, they don't get everything back, especially the spellcasters.
Yep.
And then they go into the next combat, and then like they don't have all of the tools at their arsenal, and then the combat isn't even any harder.
Yeah.
But because they burnt so much, they are struggling a lot more.
Yeah, and speaking personally for myself, those are the combats that are the best,
Yeah.
right? When you're a little bit spent, you're a little bit unsure, and kind of anything that your DM throws at you at that point is going to be difficult.
It's going to be tough.
Right?
Anything that comes at that point.
Drain their resources, see what they get back on a short and long rest, and just deny them a bit of a long rest.
If you've got a fucking party full of spellcasters, then like they should be doing multiple fights per shot, per long rest.
Definitely.
Multiple.
Definitely. And think about anything you've done in life that you had to learn. You're good at it now because you practiced at it.
You weren't probably good after like a month.
Yep. Same with your DM. I promise, OP.
Yeah.
You're going to get a handle on it. And I really hope that helps.
This is probably the submission that we get the most.
It absolutely is.
How do I do combat?
Truly it is. So if
I think
anyone...
I think at some point in the future, I will show people how I plan combat.
Absolutely. Yeah, completely. And, you know, if anyone else listening to this is feeling the same way, I hope any of that... I feel like that's an all-encompassing thing. Yes, I know we were talking about that for a long time, but it is the most commonly asked thing we get.
Yeah.
And you're a master at combat.
Yeah.
So, no, you are. He is. He is. All right, he is. He is. So, yeah, that's why people ask questions.
Mm.
So, I hope that helps, OP. Please send in a follow-up if it helps.
Yeah, so we don't
and I won't read it. But no,
Thank you very
seriously,
much.
please do.
Number 2.
All right, this has been sent in by Anonymous, and he goes by he, him.
Okay, thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you, Anonymous. Oh, sorry, I'm burpy.
A little burpage.
Oh. This is a very awkward situation, and I can't find any resolve, so I hope you may have some solutions. It involves my D&D group and my ex. While still a couple, we were playing a Tyranny of Dragons, and my partner at the time was the DM. We both DM for the group and take it in turns between campaigns. We completed the first half of the campaign after a good 6 months of playing. It was around this time me and my partner separated, and we are not on talking terms.
Okay.
My ex reached out to the group, open to continue playing without me, but I was currently playing 2 characters to make up for some balancing within the group. The group decided that they weren't happy to continue without my characters, as the plan would be that they would be written out and they would continue with a new player. They are, to date, our most enjoyable characters with good roleplay, backstory, and combat style. We have now moved on to a new campaign without my ex, but the question keeps entering our minds about what happens with Tyranny of Dragons. We have considered playing on with myself taking the DM role and removing my 2 characters, but losing a cleric rogue and a monk feels like the balancing may not work very well, but also the characters are very loved. Another suggestion was to do as I've done before and have played the character while being a DM, but one player feels this would be unfair and difficult to achieve. The last idea we had was to find a new DM. However, we have only ever played among our group, and so far any new additions has ended in drama, and we always end up going back to where we were. Do you have any suggestions, or is this a case of accepting these character stories have just come to an end?
Okay.
First of all, I'm sorry. Okay?
Yeah, to hear about
I'm
all
sorry.
of that going on.
That's a very tough situation.
If you really want to continue to Tyranny of Dragon, if you really want to, like, no matter what it says in the book,
yeah,
no matter what it says in like the module, you can just change it. Like. Yeah. If losing a cleric, a monk, and somebody else, who was it? A sorcerer.
It's a cleric rogue, cleric rogue, and a monk.
Cleric rogue and a monk.
Because OP's playing 2 characters.
Yeah, just just tone it down and just carry on.
Yeah.
Like maybe you won't be balanced to the book or whatever, but you can still run it and just tone it all down as if you'd lost a couple of characters.
Yeah.
Like
I guess the issue is, right, OP was playing 2 characters, right? And their ex was the DM. So the question is, who's going to DM? Is it OP? If OP DMs,
if OP wants to,
can they bring in their characters into DM PCs?
Nah.
I agree. I would say that the hard no is do not bring them in as
don't
DM
bring them in.
PCs.
The NPCs are just hard.
Hard for everyone, by the way.
Because like you already know exactly what's going to happen and stuff like that, and it's really hard to keep like that separated from what you know and what the character knows and stuff like that. And then you end up just not talking because you don't want to like point them in the right direction.
And it just becomes awkward.
If you want to DM, just tone it all down and play it as it is. Because if you don't like it, it is hard to find new people. It is.
Really truly, yeah. No, it is.
Who play exactly the way that you like and stuff and fit in with the group and enjoy your company and stuff like that. It's just hard.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that the way to carry on is if you're happy to Dungeon Master for it, you Dungeon Master for it and just tone it all down.
Yeah.
And just do it with slightly less characters.
Yeah, I think I have a couple of suggestions. To be fair, on the same vein as yours, could you just do a final session? Could you just do one more session of Tyranny of Dragons? Take I don't know what the module is. Could you condense it into a final session? Maybe make it a long one. You can all say goodbye to your characters and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of things you have to ask yourself first, OP, is why do you want to continue this? First of all, is it just you or is it everyone?
Yeah.
Once you've answered that, do you want to continue Tyranny of Dragons because you love the module?
Yeah. Or did you do it because you love the character?
Exactly. Or did you do it because you want these characters to have a send-off? And you said they're beloved characters, and is it a case of accepting that their stories come to an end? And I'm just assuming here, but based on what you've said here, I'm kind of getting the vibe that it's because you want to give these characters a proper send-off, right?
And you can do that.
You can do that 100%. Do it in a final. Treat it as a one-shot. Just finish it off. Say goodbye to them. If you're not too bothered about the Tyranny of Dragons part, could these characters come into the current game you're playing?
Yeah.
Could they be NPCs?
Yeah.
Could they become a backup character? Could your main... I don't know if you're the DM. I don't know what role you're in right now, OP. Could you, if you're the DM, have them come in as an NPC? If you're the player, could you have your current character go off and do something and bring one of them in? You could write their own ending. We've had this submission before of one thing someone has done when a campaign's been cut short is finish their own story and write their own epilogue.
Write their own epilogue and you can just all go with the session and just read about.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
There's loads of options.
There's loads of options, but I think you need to like talk to each other and ask each other what you want.
Absolutely.
Do you want to carry it on because you love the module? Did you just want to carry it on because you didn't want them to not get the ending? If that's the case, then let's either write the ending ourselves or do the finale.
Yep.
So there's a couple of options there. If you want to carry on, then you can be the DM, but don't be a DM in a DM PC.
Totally.
And also, like, you can just tone it down. Yeah. Like, tone the fights down, tone some bits down so you can carry on if that's what you genuinely want to do.
Yeah. First of all, find out why you would be doing it.
Yeah.
And once you know why, you'll know what.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly.
I hope that helps, OP.
I hope that helps, OP.
I'm sorry, that's a stinky situation.
Yeah.
All right, this next one. This has been sent in by Tendt, and he goes by he, they.
Tendt?
Tendt. Tendt. It's probably more Tend, right?
Tendt.
Hello again. I'm not sure if you remember, but a few advice episodes ago, I asked on help on how to build towns, and it was by far the best advice I had been given.
Oh, good. Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm so glad the advice helps. I do. I actually looked back, and I do remember what episode it was. It was a while ago now. It was 66.
66.
Yeah, a while ago now.
21 episodes ago.
Yeah. A few months later, I'm starting a long-term campaign that takes place almost only inside a large desert city with multiple districts. Any advice?
Interesting.
Very
interesting. That's exactly what I'm doing.
I put this in exactly because this is what you're doing.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm doing for my next campaign. So my next campaign is set completely in, what did I call it?
What, Hemwick?
No, that was the little town.
The great city of Oh, because you came to me and you're like, what sounds cooler?
Yeah.
Osrendith?
Osrendith, I think it was. The great city of Osrendith was what I called it. Was that what I called it?
Something like that. There was another one.
Osrendith. Good memory.
Thank you.
The great city of Osrendith. The whole campaign is taking place in that city after it has fallen.
Mm-hmm.
So what you need to do is you need to almost think of it. You might not be English or British.
British.
But
British, innit?
But I always, when I think about something taking place in something like that, it needs to be almost like London.
Yeah.
And like you think of London and you think of like Tottenham and you think of Chelsea and you think of what's that really quirky place? Camden. And they're all different. And if you go to one place, you'll see completely different things to see in the next place.
Yeah.
So we want some overlying themes that are going to be similar.
Think of it like California. You've got LA and you've got Vegas. Anyway.
Okay. So we want a couple of themes that are going to stay true throughout. So maybe the architecture is the same. Maybe they've all got the same like street lamps. Maybe like the walkways are all the same. But in each place, like let's what? In each place, we want a couple of things that are going to be different. So like, is this the district? Is this like the shopping district? Is this the market district? Is this the medical district? Is this the I don't know, the observatory, the arcane observatory district?
Yeah.
Is this like the upper crust district?
Yeah. Is this the underbelly?
Is this the underbelly? Is this the high rise?
Mm-hmm.
And then we begin to like break it up into different things, and then we think about, right, okay, we're going to go for really stereotypical things because that's what we need to do to like distinct
totally distinguish
areas
between them. I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just got to think about like, maybe we do like the medical place and it's like full of like shops that would sell like medical supplies and pharmacies and hospitals and ERs and like almost like even like experimentation.
Yeah, totally.
Like in a way.
Is there again, magic in your world can be completely what you want. Is this area more magical? Is it less magical? Is it more rough? Is it more upper class?
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, let's just say that some things are slightly different, but then you go into the arcane area, the magic area, and like they don't have like lampposts. They just have like they're lit by flowing golden orbs.
Lights.
Yeah. And there's just like bits about it that make it look and feel magic.
And saying arcane there, if you've watched the series Arcane, basically critically acclaimed League of Legends on Netflix, they have like the underbelly of the city. They have the top of the city.
All in one city.
And then underneath, there's no light. It's dim. It's dark. There's no natural light. No natural rain. Nothing like that. Like, that's also an element you can put in too.
Is it like the religious district where all the buildings are like grandiose? There's no like households here. It is all just like buildings of God and different gods and things like that.
Yeah.
Like if you think of like campaign 1 Critical Role, where there was that, I don't know, there was always a city that they went to, but I can't remember what it's called. And like they had like the district where they where they worshipped the gods, and that was like massively different to like all the other districts, like the more like tavern district, the more like places where people would just go if they were here for a day or two, like the tourist districts. So you just gotta like think about what is in each district, and then when you do that, you need to like really
hone in on
what would be different if it was real.
Yeah, and you know, if you're the type of DM that you do different voices and accents, you can distinguish it by accent. Places closer together will have similar accents. Places further away will have different accents.
Yeah. The upper crust talk a little bit more like this.
Yeah.
And then
British, innit?
The places down under speak like this, don't
fish
they?
And chips.
Fish and
cod
chips.
I'll get cod.
Cod and chips.
Beans, you know? Like,
stuff like that.
Yeah, you know.
So I hope that helps.
Yeah, very much so. And you know, all of the advice that Jack had given previously too about like, don't worry about building everything out.
God, yeah.
You only do what's in front of you, what you like plan like adjacent to what you're actually doing. That's all still very relevant, by the way.
There is one thing that I would do and I will be doing is if if you're gonna do a map, and I would genuinely say do a map for a cityscape and just have all of the borders like laying out like completely at the beginning to be like, this is district, this is this district, this is this district.
Yeah.
So I think I wouldn't normally say do a map and fill it out for a normal campaign if you can't be bothered.
Yeah.
But for a cityscape, I probably would do a map.
Even just something as simple as just having districts down,
Yeah.
and then you can build upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Really lets you visualize the city.
Yeah, I would say take the main points of your campaign, break them down into smaller ones, work out the themes you want to explore, and like Jack said, kind of work out like the stereotypical differences between
what sets
districts.
them aside and what does set them aside. Really lean
really
into
focus on it and have a couple of things overarching that is the same.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I hope that helps, Tendt.
Yes.
I'm really glad that some of our other advice can help you.
Yeah,
that's great
definitely.
news. All right, this next one. This has been sent in by CyberActors15 on TikTok, and he goes by he, him.
CyberActors15 on TikTok.
Thank you so much, CyberActors.
Thank you so much, CyberActors, for your submission.
Thank you. Hi, big fan of your TikTok videos, and I want to share my goof up as a DM.
No! This is advice.
Yes, yeah. So I am a relatively new DM, and I have been DMing for the past few months.
Mm-hmm.
It's going great so far, but I made a small mistake in my early sessions with my party. I accidentally punished the party too hard for splitting up the party.
Okay.
To make a long story short, my players were trying to conquer a city by buying or coercing other guild masters to join their organized crime syndicate.
Okay.
They decided to split up the party to accomplish their objectives and really went in without a plan. One duo succeeded without incident, while another player didn't succeed but didn't fail either. The last two went into openly hostile environments, which is a mercenary guild, and pissed off the boss, who is designed to be fought by 6 level 3 party members, not 2 of them.
Uh-oh.
Too long didn't read, they got stomped.
Not surprised.
One party member died and the other was taken prisoner. Although the remaining party member was rescued in the next session, the effects of that day still haunt the party. Now, the party refuses to split up and think creatively with the multitude of tools I have given them. In moments of roleplay, because they are always together, the dominant characters almost always do the speaking, while the quieter ones hardly engage in roleplay now. And when I show them any potential combat encounters, they are resolved to fight together at all times instead of using any of the magic items I gave them to find creative ways out of any given situation. I feel bad since I feel like I practically created this environment. Any ideas on how I can inspire independence without the party instead of codependency?
Okay.
Oh, cyber actors. Listen.
Look.
That's D&D.
That's D&D.
These things happen.
And as a new DM, or if you are a new DM, or just even as a seasoned DM.
Yes, yeah, relatively new DM, he says here, for the past few months.
Like, these things happen.
It happens.
We make mistakes.
It absolutely happens.
It doesn't matter. It'll work itself.
Yeah, especially if you're playing with new players too.
Yes.
Happens.
Okay, so definitely a way to make it more independent is let's just create some scenarios as a DM, because this game is putting in your hands. You can do what you want with this.
Yep.
Let's make some scenarios where it is some of the maybe quieter people on their own, or maybe in a duo or a trio or whatever, and the others aren't there. Let's just say that, like, I don't know, an NPC comes over and asks for those two because they heard that they're good with certain things, and then you make a scenario where they are, like, the other people can't help. It doesn't have to be long. It can be like 10, 15 minutes, and they have to, like, figure out a scenario, figure out a solution, overcome an issue on their own.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that, like, forces them to think.
Yeah, and I feel like you have to go in with good faith to show them at this point. Like, look, you can split up the party.
Yeah,
and honestly, the advice I would give is it's totally okay for you to say above table to them, like,
100%.
By the way, what happened was kind of like an anomaly.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was really rough, but you sorted it out.
Yeah.
And
also, if you want to be fucking fully transparent, you can say, I wish maybe that I hadn't done what I did.
Yeah.
Because now I think I've maybe created an environment where you can't feel like you can split up.
Yeah.
And I want you to know that you definitely can.
Yeah.
And I won't punish you.
Totally.
I was just early in my DM days and I made a mistake.
Totally.
And I don't want that to just define this entire campaign.
Absolutely. There is nothing wrong with being like, I was new, I made a mistake. Like, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And just to say to them, like, by the way, You can. And I'm not going to punish you for it. And if you felt like I was punishing you for it, it wasn't intentional. I just didn't know how to handle that situation at the time.
Yeah. I think that would be a good idea, but let's just say you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely over anything else recommend saying that.
I would say that.
That's what I would recommend. But I understand. That's not always possible for people.
I would say. But also, we can do a Gears of War. And let's just say that on a mission that we're on, the wall falls and we get separated.
Exactly.
And we've got to just do like some quick scenarios like, right, what do you do? 'Cause I do this fucking all the time.
Yep.
Like I do like, right, we're in a room and loads of things are happening. What are you all doing? And then each person's like, all right, I go over and do this. And I'm like, okay, we'll get to you in a second. And then this person's like that.
Yeah.
And we just flip between everything.
Quick time it.
Quick time doesn't have to be anything fucking major, but one team has to unlock a door.
Yeah.
And another team has to break a door down. And the other team like has one NPC and they need to like fight through that one person. And it's an easy kill and stuff like that. And we just make our way through, separated, and then we come back together at the end.
Absolutely. And, like that forces them to do it.
Have to.
I feel like if they're so unwilling to split, even having like an NPC be like, can I have these two in private?
Yeah.
There's a chance the other players might be like, no. Yeah, you know what I mean?
There's
a chance that they might have a way to listen in, etc. You do the fallen wall thing.
Yeah, there's no way you can.
Yeah, totally. And in terms of, and this is general advice now, for getting the quieter people to speak, especially in roleplay, if they're with NPCs, let's say it's the group of, the group of 6, and they're all talking and the main people are talking, you can have the NPC turn to one of the quieter ones and go, yeah, but what are you thinking?
Yeah.
What about you? I haven't heard from you. What are you thinking?
So 2 things, that is an absolute great opinion, and have the NPCs ask them directly questions. And if the people try to butt in and be like, I know I've heard from you, but I want to hear from this person. Yeah, it's like you can it's a conversation. Yeah. Like we want to get everyone's opinions. And also what you can do is if you trust these slightly more like louder people, is go to the louder people and say, do you mind when we're having like group conversations, just asking what maybe this person thinks and this person thinks, to just try and bring them in a little bit, because I know they're a bit quiet and I know you're a confident role player.
Exactly.
So if you can help bring them in, I'd really appreciate it.
And I see no reason to why they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I see no reason.
And that gives trust in that person.
Absolutely.
And then they're conscious of always being like,
they're conscious of it at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's getting the players to naturally do that is the best way. But there's ways you can do it with the NPCs too. But yeah, I think
that's what I'd say.
I would have the chat with them. I would tell them, and sometimes you say you want them to use like their magic items that you've given them a bit more. There's nothing wrong with in a scenario, and they're like, what do we do? There's nothing wrong with you going,
why don't you use that magic item?
You do have this, by the way.
I do that all the time.
All the time, because we forget everything constantly.
All the time. I'm like, just remember, you do have this.
Yeah. And that could inspire some more gameplay too.
Especially if they're really stuck.
Yeah.
Like getting that helping hand of maybe something that they just couldn't remember.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with them.
Not wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it. So I hope that helps cyber actors. And just know, by the way, that wasn't your fault.
No.
You haven't created this environment.
No.
Sometimes these things just happen. It wasn't your fault.
And sometimes we just don't know.
Yeah, indeed. All right. This next one has been sent in by Anonymous and it goes by him.
Anonymous, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anonymous. Should I tell my DM about previous cheating? My group wrapped up a homebrew game online last year that went all the way to level 20.
Wow.
There were some close calls, but we all made it out in the end and defeated the final boss. I know the DM in person, but everyone else I've only ever played with online, so I feel like I have a better connection with the DM. So we would chat about the game, no spoilers of course, so I knew for weeks leading up to the final battle against the big bad that he was expecting it to be super difficult for us and maybe even have a death or two. Long story short, the fight was actually pretty easy. I felt bad, but I figured we just did better than that they expected and we were all happy. Cut to a few weeks ago. We're in a new game with a few more players, but the main group is still together. The DM leaves the voice chat and we started talking about the past fight. This is when 2 of the other players laughed and said that they ignored when they were out of spell slots and couldn't use certain abilities anymore and added more hit points to their characters, and they lived and won. My DM puts their heart into making these games and it just feels like a spit in the face to them and leaves a bad taste in my mouth that maybe we shouldn't have won. In a ways, it's the past, but I just don't know if I should tell my DM because I'm certain it's a continual thing and it bothers me? Or should I just let it lie and maybe try talking to the players instead?
Nope, you tell your Dungeon Master.
Yeah, 100%.
Tell your Dungeon Master. Why the fuck? Like, what's the fucking point in playing Dungeons and Dragons if we're just going to give ourselves more spell slots and more hit points?
Yeah,
like what's the actual point?
Like, that's it. Like, I've never fully understood the concept of why would you cheat in something like D&D?
Like, but to that degree.
Like, to that degree. By the fucking, you know what? It's one thing to ignore the spell slots, right? And I'm not saying it's good, but it's one thing to do that. To actually go out of your way to add hit points to yourself.
To add hit points.
That's terrible.
Fucking bullshit.
That's terrible. Sometimes we just forget about spell slots, right? Sometimes that happens.
Just taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's absolutely
Tell your
terrible.
Dungeon Master, and if do you want to know what? I would just not fucking play with these people again.
Yeah, like, especially because it's a continual thing, right?
Well, this person thinks it might be a continual. Like, if they can do it, then why wouldn't it be a continual
thing?
True,
and to be fair, they've said, I'm certain it's a continual thing, and it bothers me. And listen, that would bother the fuck out of me.
That would fucking piss me off.
Man, if that was happening at our table, and I'm best friends with all of my friends at the table, if someone admitted that to me, we're having problems, and I'm telling you.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I just don't, like, the thing is, like you said, your DM puts like the heart and soul into this. They take time to plan things out of their week. They sit on a night when they could be doing other things, and they're planning a combat for you, planning an encounter for you, and you just basically take that time and take that effort and just wipe your fucking ass crack with it.
Yeah.
Because you just clearly don't give a fuck about this DM or their time.
Like you say here, OP, it feels like a spit in the face, because it is.
It's a fucking massive spit in the face.
Yeah, that is a spit in the face. And you know, the fact that your DM was like saying to you, I'm really excited, it's going to be really tough. And the fact that it ended up pretty easy. Yeah, no fucking shit,
wonder.
by the way.
No fucking wonder.
You know.
And this DM's probably like, why was it so easy?
Yeah. What do you think? How do you feel like the DM came out feeling like that about? Man, that's absolutely fucking shitty behavior.
That's fucking
dreadful. I understand, OP, why you're kind of torn. I understand why you're like, should I just let it lie? Because it's the past. And people who act like this will make you feel bad for speaking out about it because they know they're in the wrong and they've tried to conceal it anyway. Like,
and the fact that they told you
I know,
when the DM wasn't there,
and laughed
that
about
just feels so underhanded and nasty.
It's the fact they laughed about it.
Let's all fucking cheat.
Yeah, man, that feels absolutely terrible. And I understand not wanting to rock the boat. And these people are probably going to be like, oh, well, you're a snitch. And it's like, no, actually.
I'm a fucking friend.
I'm actually their friend. And you were supposed to be their friends too. And you can tell these people that you're shocked at their behavior because fuck me, I would be too.
Send them this of me going,
yeah, that sucks. That's in such bad faith. And people do not realize how much work your DM puts into things.
So much work.
So a level 20 combat.
Planning a final boss encounter level 20 combat will take ages. Like building the map, thinking about what the combat's going to be like, thinking about spells, abilities, attacks, all that shit.
And how long have you been playing for? You know what I mean? That's unacceptable. That's so horrible.
Tell your Dungeon Master.
100% tell your DM. And you know what? What your DM does with that information after the fact is their prerogative entirely. But it's like, oh, should I tell them that I saw their boyfriend cheating on them? Yes! Sorry.
Jesus.
Yes, you should.
Yes.
Yeah, you should. Don't shoot the messenger. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not your fucking fault. Yeah. Oh, that pisses me off so bad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Stinky.
I am so sorry to your DM about that.
Tell him.
I'm so sorry. That sucks. All right. This next one. This has been sent in by Mika, and he goes by he, him.
Thank you, Mika.
Thank you, Mika. I love that name, Mika.
Mika's really nice.
Or is it Micah?
Might be either. Both nice.
Both nice. Both lovely. Last week, I started to DM Out of the Abyss in an online campaign.
Ooh.
I've got 4 wonderful players, and we've had a good session 0 in which it got quite clear that we're pretty much all on the same page. The only thing I could say that was negative to me is that they were all pretty quiet at times. I already DM in an in-person campaign for my 4 best friends, which we all love, but I wanted to DM more. We just had our first session, and I didn't like it. There were a lot of pauses where I had to fill the silence because it became pretty awkward, at least to me. Also, for some reason, it just didn't feel quite right. When I'm DMing for my friends, it feels great every time. But during that online session, I didn't quite get that tickle. Now, I don't know if I should continue the campaign or not.
So 2 things.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, playing with a group of strangers and playing with your best friends is always going to be different.
Different. Yeah,
always
100%.
going to be different.
Definitely.
And going from playing in person to online is always going to be
Totally.
different.
Like, those are two huge things.
Like, now mix them together and compare them, then this is exactly what you get.
Totally.
And, this might ease up. Like, people might start to get more comfortable.
Absolutely,
people
yeah.
might start to get more friendly.
Yeah.
People will just, like...
People trying to be polite, right?
And also, a lot of people, like... This is, like, a natural thing. When you're online and you don't want to talk over each other, some people will just wait.
Naturally leave a gap.
Just leave a gap
Yeah.
to make sure that they don't, like, speak over each other.
Yep.
So, the advice is, I would personally, if I was you, continue for a little bit to see if these things change.
Yeah.
Because, like, the players will get used to your dungeon mastering, and you'll get used to just playing online, and you'll become better friends naturally just with spending more time with each other.
Yeah, of course
and,
you will.
Like, it'll probably have felt a little bit awkward, but first time meeting
it
and things
naturally
like that,
will.
it's like that, and that's just a natural thing.
Yeah, like, see, I'm kind of in two minds about this, but I think I'm projecting a little bit, because the second I start to have doubts about something, I'm like, I know my mind's already made up. And that's just me personally. Like, if I start to be like, oh, am I going to enjoy this? I know I'm not going to. And I know that's when I should cut ties with it, right? So I don't know if this is a case, Mika, where you have kind of already made your mind up.
Yeah.
Like, that's only for you to answer, right? Have you made your mind up about, are you going to enjoy any further sessions with this? You say here you didn't like it didn't feel right, you didn't get the tickle, now you don't know. If you're just wanting to hear from someone, it's okay to not want to do anymore. It's completely okay to not want to do anymore.
As an adult, obviously I have no idea how old you are.
Yeah. Mika's like 8.
But for me as an adult, like, you can't spend time doing things that you're just not interested in doing. And if you want from us just that confirmation that it's okay to just not do it, then here you go.
It's okay to follow your gut.
It's okay to not do it.
It's okay. It's okay not to put any more time on it.
Just quit if that's what you want to do.
However, if that's not what's going on here,
if you
genuinely are on the fence, hey, one session is not enough to base.
It's not enough.
Not enough.
Of course, things are going to be awkward and difficult because you're a bunch of strangers getting together to play Dungeons and Dragons for the first time on the internet.
Totally.
It's going to be a little bit awkward. It's going to be a little bit stop-starty, but you'll also just get used to each other and get, like, friendlier with each other, and you'll get used to playing online.
Completely.
And getting online is always going to be a little slower than
it's always going to be
person.
different. It is. And you know what? I think the thing you need to ask yourself is, are you willing to put in the time to see if it works? Because if you are, then yeah. If you're not, there's your answer.
There's your answer.
Yeah.
Simple.
And you don't owe anyone anything.
You don't. No.
As long as you do it politely and courteously and with enough time. You know what 100%. I mean? I hope that helps, Mika.
I hope that helps, Mika.
I really hope it does. But well done for trying it. Well done for trying online. All right. How many do we have?
There should be 2. This one and another one.
Yes. Okay. Yes. This is the second to last one. This is a long one. This is a long one, but there's a lot of nuance to it.
That's okay.
So, this has been sent in by Anonyblaster, and she goes by Sheri.
Anonyblaster, let's go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, I love the Podblast, and I've been watching for a hot minute. Thank you. Sorry if it's a little long. You both have great insight, and I have a feeling you'll have a better outside advice than some of my IRL friends would in this case. Yeah, as it goes, right? Like,
yeah.
We can look at it from a completely, like, probably unbiased lens, yes. I hope. My husband and I have only been playing for about 3 years now since the pandemic, and I'm about to DM our 4th campaign, but this is my first time DMing.
Awesome.
Congratulations. We play with other various members of our WoW guild, as it's very inclusive.
Hey, are you us?
It's very inclusive, safe, and a lot of them are genuine friends at this point.
Yeah.
I love that for you. I love that you found that on WoW.
And anybody who thinks that online friends can't be genuine friends, wrong. They just haven't found the right online friends.
Completely. My husband has DM'd the last 2 out of our 3 campaigns we've played in. Only 1 is still going and none have played to the conclusion. He asked me recently to DM a campaign on our off weeks so he could have a chance to play again. I wanted to DM and was going to try run some one-shots for our guild game nights, so this was really just a slight change of plans from what I wanted to do to switch to a beginner module. Mm-hmm. We had some things going on, so it's been about a month of him planning his character while I read the module and gather a group together. He's had this idea and I can see him getting so excited, and I am excited too for this.
Nice.
Yesterday was the first opportunity I've gotten a good chunk of time to work on my own notes and go through the DM side of Roll20. He kept telling me things like, oh, you don't need to do that, just run the module. They should have given you everything you need. As I look at a bunch of tokens with only names on them, or 5 lines on what a whole chapter is supposed to end with. I watch a ton of D&D content, such as your lovely selves. Thank you. And I want to try and run this fun and loose going off players since it is a very simple campaign. I want to try to tie the group together a bit more and make them invested in the characters wanting to be there, especially since we have some new players. I also found some more safety tools I want to try to use since we don't know one of the players as well as the others, and the last thing I want to do is touch topics they're uncomfortable with or just overwhelm people when they're having a rough day outside of the game.
Great stuff.
Absolutely the most important part of all of it. I'm not driving myself crazy with how things have to go, but I do want to add in some extra fun and comfort. Husband adds homebrew to all of his modules all the time, and it's the most fun that he has as a DM, and it's also very fun to play. But he is very off the cuff and adds it in an hour before we meet kind of a person, and I am just not comfortable with that as of yet.
That's fair.
Understandable. We were talking about his character a bit since he was asking which version of his race I thought he should use. He was telling me more here and there, and I asked if he had settled on alignment yet or more backstory, etc. He mentioned that he wanted to pick up Mage Hand with his racial feat of any sorcerer cantrip, and went on to describe wanting to use it in something like an Indiana Jones stunt to take artifacts. I said it sounds great, but just read the fine print at the time and distance because I know I've had the cantrips I couldn't use that much before or didn't work out the way that I thought at first too.
Yeah.
There are quite a few cantrips on that list that would fit his theme too, but he can pick whatever he wants to.
Yeah.
He immediately got upset and accused me of railroading him. And why did it matter what his backstory was when we weren't playing right now? We had an argument. I told him I was sorry if it felt like I was railroading him. I wasn't intending for it to be, and I definitely wasn't telling him not to take the cantrip, just to manage his expectations a little bit. I've had experiences in the past as a player when some spells seem one way and functionally they're just not what I wanted. I got a generic apology back from him. I'm just so confused. He's been the DM doing the same thing for me as a player, getting excited about a character, and he's had to set limits on expectations many times. But he's trying to make me prep the way he does and not incorporate other things. But he asked me to take on the DM for this. I know I need to have this conversation about letting me run things my way, but honestly, during our argument, I was ready to just call it and not run anything, because if we haven't even started on this and this is happening. He genuinely hurt my feelings, saying the same type of conversation he had with me before was railroading his character, especially when I had said many times he's free to choose anything he wanted to. I was just looking for information on his character so I could incorporate more things for him, while I was literally sitting down and taking notes of the campaign. Is there any advice you guys would have on how to bring this up with him? I don't want to be dealing with potential backseat DMing or have him feeling railroaded constantly when I'm just trying to take on a campaign for the first time, especially with the new WoW raiding season starts, in which we also raid together and he helps our guildmaster raid lead.
Okay.
Oh, Anonyblaster.
So, there's a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, you absolutely need to have a conversation with your partner.
And I think you know that.
About, and it's the same one that I had to have with Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
And I've mentioned it a few times on here. Like, it's really, really hard as a dungeon master to become a player.
Oh my God, 100%.
Because
letting the reins go.
Letting the reins go and people doing things differently to you, like, is really hard to let go of.
It's kind of like a scary thing.
It's scary. It's scary. You're basically just like giving up all of your DM privileges and your DM powers and letting somebody else basically call the shots.
Yeah.
And you know, like people who, you know, your partner might be just a very proud person who likes the game the way they run it. And
completely.
And the thing is, you need to just say to your partner, like, you are our DM, and I love it when you DM, and it's great. But I am the DM now. I am the captain now.
I am the captain now.
I'm the DM now, and I just need you to trust me.
Yeah.
That, like, I'm gonna do things differently to you.
Yeah.
You need to take your dungeon master hat off and leave it at the door.
Yep.
So when I dungeon master, you've got your player hat on, and that's it.
And listen, there is 100% going to be times where you're doing something and his knee-jerk reaction
is to be like,
will be to get in that DM role again.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, that is going to happen.
It is going to happen. But
And-
like, maybe we need to just make sure that we aren't taking it personally.
Totally.
And
That's it.
We're taking it as in like, you know, if they keep fucking doing it, then yeah, you can start to take it personally.
Totally.
But you know, it might happen now and then.
Yeah,
And it might just be an accident.
It will happen now and then, no matter how hard he tries. Because we said it earlier, DMing is something you have to practice. And it's a skill you learn. And unfortunately, I think when you're in the DM seat for so long, you can't help but if someone says, oh, this spell save, I feel like you can't help but
just
start to
say
build
it
it
out
in your
loud.
own mind. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
And, you know, as long as you know that that's not personal, and I would really like to hope it's not personal. Yeah, he's your husband. You love each other, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I know you're like, God, we had this argument and I don't want it to go far. You had the argument because he's your husband. You know what I mean?
You know,
it spiraled into an argument because he's
me
your
and
husband.
Margaret have argued over far stupider things.
Oh my God, 100%.
Like, it's true.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, at the same time, the fact that you're here asking for our advice, you know, like, you obviously love each other to the point where you just want to get this figured out.
And you want him to have a good time. You're even saying here, I want to make sure I'm making the right decisions for him.
Yeah.
And I'm making the right decisions for everyone. And I think the way you approach the conversation is exactly like Jack said. Say, like, you know me as a person. I'm so different to you as a person. You can just do things like off the cuff and they're amazing and wonderful. You know me, I can't do that. So I have to pre-plan. And it might stress you out how I plan.
Yeah.
But I have to do this to feel comfortable.
Yes.
Like, just because you don't do it like that, like, you can appreciate I have to do it this way.
Mm-hmm.
And everything I'm doing is because I want you to have fun.
Yeah.
And I just need you to trust me.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's probably, I think you definitely say, there is going to be times where you will know better than I.
Completely.
And, like, if I need your
help.
help.
If I need your help, I'm going to ask you.
And I would like you to be there for me. Because, you know, that lets your partner know this. You know, I do value your opinion as a dungeon master.
Totally.
And if I need it, I'm going to call on you because
and he's your husband. He's going to want to help you.
Yeah. And, you know, like, I think it's tough because this is going to sound really strange. I'm very much like your husband. And Margaret's very much like you. So to me, I watch Margaret plan and it fucking, it sends me into the shadow realm.
Yeah. God, into the stratosphere.
It sends me into the stratosphere. And when she knows how I plan, stratosphere,
oh my God.
shadow realm.
Oh my God. Absolute
Like,
meltdown.
and like, you know, it's the way we do things. It is hard. It's not just with Dungeons and Dragons. When I see somebody doing something the way that I wouldn't do it, I'm like, I could just make your life so much easier. But to you, I'm not making your life easier. I'm just making your life far fucking harder.
Exactly.
But, you know, I'm just trying to help. So, like, and that is just fucking life.
That is life. That is
and
life.
We'll get used to that, and we'll find our ways to deal with that.
And because you love each other, you will find a way to deal with
100%.
it. Like, quite simply, you will find a way.
And it may take a little bit of time, and it may be a little bit of a rocky road, but you will get there.
Yeah.
But you definitely need to have the conversation of
completely.
When you sit down, and I'm the dungeon master,
completely.
You need to have your player hat on.
Completely.
And when I'm planning the way I'm planning, you need to understand that it's not because I don't believe that the way of your planning is good, because that's brilliant for you and you're a fantastic dungeon master.
And, you know, I'm proof of it because I have an amazing time in the game.
But for me, like,
I
do it. I need to do it this way.
I couldn't do it.
And I know you're only trying to help when you're saying X, Y, Z, but that's not what I want.
And, you know, one thing I said when I tried DMing was I said to everyone, not just Jack, I was like, I'm going to not know things. I don't want you to give me the answer. I want to work it out myself. And if at that point I can't find the answer, I will ask you for help. So please don't help me unless I ask for help. And I think that's a very, very good boundary to set.
Because that's like the and, you know, it's tough for me because, like, not only was Margaret our dungeon master, but, you know, like, all I want is for Margaret to succeed, and all I want is to watch you thrive. And, you know, if you're struggling with something, I want to give you the answer because I want you to just be able to, like,
get past it
and carry on
completely.
So it's tough, you know. And I bet there was a million times where I was just like, oh, it's this, but it's like, it's not because I'm doing it for any other reason.
Help.
Not because I'm trying to flex my DMing knowledge on you.
No, totally.
It's because I want to help you.
Yeah, and you know your husband better than we do. You know if he's doing it out of wanting to help you, or if he's doing it to flex your muscles, or a bit of both.
And
And
like that's the thing. Like when your husband's watching you plan and he's saying this and that, he's not saying it because he's like, my way is the best way.
He's trying to be like, oh, you don't have to do this stuff, by the way.
Yeah, he's saying it because he thinks like
he's found a streamway line to do it himself.
Streamlined way.
Streamlined way. What did I say?
Streamway lined.
Streamway lined.
Streamlined way.
Streamlined way.
Streamlined way.
Yeah, streamlined.
He's found, that's what works for him, and he only wants the best for you. And for him to give you those tips, he's trying to help you. And it's like the same age-old fucking argument of being like, oh, well, when people are like, the best way to prep isn't to prep at all. It's just like that. That works for fucking like me.
Yep.
But if Margaret tried to do that, she'd capitulate and die
completely. Yeah.
In the DMCs.
Easily. God, easily, I'd be dead and gone.
Yeah, and I think the problem is we all need to start to understand that what works for us doesn't mean it works for everyone.
Like, and you say here he genuinely hurt your feelings, and I would let him know that. I would let him know and say like, you've had to have these. Say exactly what you said here. You've had to have these conversations with people. Did you classify it as railroading when you had to have these conversations?
That's not railroading.
No, not at all. Like, you didn't class it as that. Like, when I'm having conversations with you, please think how you would handle this conversation with the player. Like, that's all I'm trying to do. And to be honest, your husband might find that he just doesn't like being a player anymore.
Do you want to know what? I had that as a point to say at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I completely forgot to say it. Like, some people are just born dungeon masters.
Totally.
Me, because like now that I've had a taste of it and now that I've done it, like, I try to not DM and I try to let people DM for me.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
And your partner might be like that. And that just might be a reality that you come to as you play.
Totally.
Because I think I get excited for playing. And then I start playing and I'm like, I want to fucking touch my
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's nothing personal to anyone as well. Like, I think that's the most important thing to remember. And
send your partner this if you want.
Yeah,
like, get this clipped and send it.
I really, really hope that helps. It's hard to speak on the situation because obviously we don't know your relationship, we don't know your partner. But that's where I would start. And I believe having an open, honest conversation about how you feel, what your expectations are. I feel like if he's open to hearing that, it can't go wrong.
No.
Right? And he will be open to hearing that because he's your partner. What realm are you on? Wow, I'd like to know.
Ash and Don, are you?
Yeah, are you? Are you NA? Enjoy the next raid and Beatrice. Enjoy.
The Dream's Hole.
Yes, indeed. Enjoy.
Comes out Wednesday. By the time this comes out, it'll be out.
Yeah, enjoy. I hope you have a great time raiding. I hope that helps. Please send us a follow-up.
So we can leave it in the
and never talk about
inbox and never read it.
But truly, please do. All right, the last one.
The last one.
So, this has been sent in by Caroline, and she goes by she, they.
Thank you, Caroline, for your submission.
Thank you, Caroline. Sorry for the long post.
Don't worry about it. It's all right.
I need desperate advice on how to tell a nice player we don't want them to continue in our next campaign.
Uh-oh.
This player, let's call them A, is not a bad person. They're friendly, and we can have decent chats outside of our sessions. They're quite knowledgeable about D&D, and have played several campaign modules themselves before joining our group. The problem we're running to is that their playstyle doesn't suit the rest of the party.
Okay.
They are very stoic and emotionless, while the rest of the party have a very good synergy with each other. They tend to stay mostly quiet during roleplay, keep found items and information to themselves unless we very intensely question them if they found anything. And even then, they're very stubborn, keeping it all to themselves. They take so long to think about what they want to do, right when their turn starts in battle, and they just quietly sit and think to themselves, while we sit in silence waiting for them for several minutes. They also tend to talk out of character quite often in the middle of roleplay sections, sometimes going on very long tangents. And finally, they metagame quite often and have a little bit of main character energy despite their stoic personality, which we did mention to them, for which they told us they would try to avoid doing it, thankfully. So they are a very nice and understanding person, which makes it so hard to try to tell them that we don't want to play with them anymore. I would love to get advice on what the best course of action is. Oh, Caroline, I feel like that's the hardest, right?
When they've done nothing wrong.
Then they've done nothing wrong.
It just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I feel like so many people are like, well, I can't because they haven't done anything wrong. It's like, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like, you have to play D&D with people that you want to play D&D with and who play like you.
Completely.
Because, like, you'll know when that's the case because it'll be effortless,
natural.
and it'll just happen.
Yeah,
and nobody has to try.
You don't. Yeah, you don't have to think about it. You don't have to try. There's no thought in the back of your head.
Second guessing, anything like that.
There's no when they leave, you go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, like, first of all, Caroline, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to let you know because I feel like you're writing a submission like this.
I know.
Because, like, I'm gonna be honest. You already know exactly what to do. You know exactly what to say.
Completely.
You just want to hear it from us that it's okay.
Yeah,
and it is.
Oh my God, these things happen all the time. I feel like I say it every single time we do an advice video. It is not made clear enough to people, like new veterans, etc., that it's going to take a little while to find the right people to play with, and you're going to go through people because that's the nature of the game, because everyone's different. Everyone wants a different thing. The fact that you already have a table full of people who are exactly the same is wonderful. And I feel like it makes this stand out even more, right?
Yeah. Have you done your makeup today?
Yeah, I have actually.
Did you blush higher?
Well, okay, so I accidentally used a darker blush, so then I had to pat it out and put more blush on the top.
It looks really good.
Oh, thank you.
That looks really cool.
I did my eyeliner a little bit thinner as well, so you can see more of my eyelashes.
Ooh.
I had a nightmare with my eyelashes.
It looks good.
Thank you so much.
Really good. I like it. It's very cute.
Thank you.
I agree. So, how?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be honest. This is a question for Margaret. Because I may be good at giving out advice and stuff like that. Am I good at wording things? No, I never have been. And I never will be. And that is just a flaw I have to live with. When we have to do something that we have to write or read or something like that, I'm like, this is all you, because I can't say it as eloquently as you can.
No, thank you. It's from years of being a people pleaser.
So yeah, I'll just say it.
Yeah,
and it maybe it'll come off a little brash,
which some could argue is probably the better way to do it. I have in the past had a tendency to beat around the bush a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get better at that.
I'm not a bush beat. I'm not a bush beater.
No, yeah, you're a set it on fire and
just watch it burn.
Yeah. Which, hey, we complement each other very well because you go 4 times down that channel, and I'm like, oh, okay, and I get the essence of the but you know, without being like
yeah.
So how do you tell this player? I think you. Did you say that? Are you the DM or are you a player? I don't think you've said. I think it has to come from the DM though.
Yes, I think that's true. I think it has to come from the DM.
Yep.
And it has to go a little like, it needs to say the really cliche thing of like, it's not you, it's me. And it has to be like, you've done nothing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like at all.
Yeah.
You're a wonderful person, and that's what makes this probably a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But sadly, like, our play styles do not match.
Yeah, I would open it with, hi, like, I have to have a really difficult conversation with you, and I don't want to, but it would be unfair on you if I didn't, and it would be unfair, and it would get into the realms of resentment if not. I mean, don't say that, but you know, don't say that. But yeah, I have to have a hard conversation with you, and I'm sorry, I don't want to. Like, you are our friend. You are incredibly nice to be around. It's nothing to do with you as a person. However, I'm not sure if you've realized, but there is definitely a difference in the group.
Yeah.
And either how you play your character or just how you play the game in general doesn't really line with how the rest of the group play.
Yeah.
And to me as the DM, that's very obvious. I don't know if you've picked up on that, but I definitely do.
Yeah.
And we've really enjoyed playing with you. The time you've had with us has been great. We go our separate ways now, and really be like, it's nothing to do with you as a person.
No, yeah.
It really is completely down to differences in how we play. Like
the pace we play.
Core elements of how we play.
How we role play, how we do combat, everything. It's just, we're just on like 2 different pages, and without trying to just like force you to play the way that we want to play, because that's unfair.
Yeah.
I think it's probably best if we just go our separate ways.
Yeah, if we just go our separate ways. And you know, thank you for the time investment you've had in the campaign.
Yeah.
And I hope we can stay friends outside of this. But for right now, we can't play D&D together.
And our dog is through the barrier.
Ah, here he is.
Come on. Bully, we are literally done. Just get out. 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 Bully, get out! Right, let's fucking wrap this puppy up.
Oh. Sorry.
Sorry, our dog pushed through the barrier. But yes, anything to that effect will probably do exactly what you want it to do.
The most important things are making it... Caroline, you've said it. You've said it yourself.
You know exactly why.
Make it clear it's not because you don't like them.
Yes.
It's not because you're not friends. It's not because of them as a person.
Yeah.
You just have very different play styles.
Yeah.
And thank them for the time. Say, we're going to go our separate ways now. But, it's up to you guys if you want to let them have like a last session. Like a last session.
A goodbye session,
a goodbye session.
Yeah, that's up to you guys.
Because that's completely up to you.
And up to the person if they want it. They might not.
Totally. But, sometimes that can be a really nice way to end something off.
Yeah, 100%.
Amicably. You know what I mean? I hope that helps, Caroline. I hope that helps. And man, there's nothing trickier than you actually really liking the person, but being like, definitely not the right person to play with. And we've had this in the past.
We've had that in the past.
We've had this in the past with real life friends. Like, just didn't like playing with them.
Get on with people. Don't play the same way.
Very normal. Very normal.
There's not like it's the age old thing. Is just like when you're in a serious role playing situation and somebody just comes in and just makes a fucking massive joke of it and isn't taking it seriously and it just kills your mood. It's just like that's prime example of like you can get along as people, but when you come to the game, you just want different things.
Completely.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that.
So
don't feel like very normal. Very normal. So I hope that helps, Caroline. And I hope to everyone who submitted, I hope that helps. Thanks, guys, for trusting us so much.
Yeah.
And it's really nice hearing, especially from people who are like, oh, yeah, well, you have good insight. And
thanks.
Thank you. We all...
Two fools.
I'm glad we can help in some small way.
I'm glad that we can help. This is the one that, like, feels like it matters the most.
Completely. Especially when you have Caroline being like, I desperately need advice.
Please.
It feels nice to be able to help back. It really does. So thanks, guys.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this up because this is another 2-hour episode.
Yeah, man. Did we have many stops in this?
You want to... No.
Like any lasting stops?
I don't think so. Advice just takes a while because you want to make sure you're doing it right, don't you? And you don't want to miss anything out. And
to be fair, we also did another short campaign update in the beginning of this too.
Yes.
We read out the homebrew winners. So yeah.
Right. www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Go and pick up your t-shirts, your logo with a back print, heavy metal t-shirts. You'll be supporting the podcast. You'll be supporting me and Margaret. It's a fantastic gift for those of you around that love the Eldritch Podblast.
And we're getting into Quipmas.
If you don't want to pick anything up from there, go to our Hellbound Etsy shop, which is linked in the description, where you can pick up other t-shirts, spell books, personalized notecards, notebooks, and dice bags. Dice bags are a fantastic gift. You can put your character's name on them. Plenty of Christmas cards and stuff like that in there.
Merry Chrysler.
All D&D themed. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Chrysler.
Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell to be notified when we upload a video on a Monday and a Thursday.
Thank you to anyone who's in one of the watch parties right now, and thank you to our Podblasters very much.
Comment. I don't know if you've been slacking, but I'm watching. And if you have been slacking, next video, I'm going to get you. So you better comment. Comment down below. I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you. He actually hates you right now because he is like... freaking out because he wants his tea, I think.
Yeah.
And we've been the Eldritch Podblast. We're going to see you on Thursday. Bye.